As parents, we often feel guilty or extremely critical of our performance, so to speak, as parents. Today's question deals with a man who feels he failed horribly as a parent. So the focus on the answer is seeing the good in our parenting. So here's his question. I'm the proud father of 8 children, all of whom I love very much. Unfortunately, at least half of them have chosen to abandon the path of Chabad, some with Torah observance that is borderline at best. As a result, and with full knowledge that I have made my fair share of parenting mistakes, I often feel I failed horrifically as a parent. What are your comments? So I'd say, for starters, that it appears you're wearing too many hats. You're the prosecuting attorney, you're the jury, and the judge. You've built an infallible and foolproof case against yourself. You've declared yourself guilty on all accounts. As you write, I failed horribly. And you've sentenced yourself to a life of guilt, self-criticism, and misery. Now, there's an interesting story from Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, the former chief rabbi of England. He was speaking to an audience and he showed a piece of paper with a small black dot in the center. And he asked the audience to say what they saw. So most responded that they see a black dot. So Rabbi Sachs challenged, why do you only see the black dot in the middle? Why don't you say that you see the white space which takes up almost the entire part of the paper? So in other words, we tend to focus on the negative while discounting the many, many positive things that we have done and we continue to do. So I would say you have not failed miserably as a parent. For one, at least half of your children are following the path of Chabad, which would appear to be your preference, and the other four have different degrees of observance, but they're still within the realm of some religious observance. Thus, even if this was the only measuring stick to judge your success as a parent, any reasonable and objective person would be very hard pressed to come to the conclusion that you've failed miserably as a parent. However, I would say that what really stands out in your statement is that you write, I am the proud father of 8 children, all of whom I love very much. So, regardless of whether your children are following your chosen and desired path, you're a proud father and you love them all. And I think that's beautiful and it demonstrates your true success as a parent, in that your love is not conditioned on whether your children do what you want them to do. You love each child for who they are. Not every parent has reached your level. Now, it says in Tehillim, in Tehillim 37, that the steps of man are directed by Hashem. In other words, our place in life, including our challenges, is from Hashem. Do you think Hashem wants us to remain with feelings of guilt and misery? Or does he want us to learn from the past and live a happy and productive future? We all make mistakes. We all fall. That's normal, and it's part of our growth and part of our learning. The key is to get back up and use the fall to attain, to reach even greater heights. And a big part of moving forward is seeing and appreciating the good that Hashem has given us.